Today is March 16th, and today Jesus returns to Pilate, and Pilate declares him innocent. Why? Let's find out together as we study Luke 23, 13 to 16. Herod returns Jesus to Pilate. Pilate holds all authority, and Herod realizes that he's not getting anywhere with what he wants out of Jesus. So he sends Jesus back to Pilate. In the book of Matthew chapter 27, verse 19, as Pilate was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent him this message: "Leave that innocent man alone. I suffered through a terrible nightmare about him last night." Pilate's wife sends word to him while Pilate is sitting in the judgment seat. Now, this indicates that Pilate was about to pronounce his findings after examining Jesus. So let's pick it up, knowing that Pilate is ready to make his verdict, and knowing that his wife has said, "I've had a dream about him." Luke chapter 23, beginning in 13. Then Pilate called together the leading priests and other religious leaders along with the people, and he announced his verdict. "You brought this man to me, accusing him of leading a revolt. I've examined him thoroughly on this point in your presence, and I find him innocent." Herod came to the same conclusion and sent him back to us. "Nothing this man has done calls for the death penalty. And so I'll have him flogged, and then I'll release him." Pilate reaches his verdict. He says, "Jesus is innocent. You've accused him of rebelling against the Roman government. He's innocent of that charge." Now, this merits some attention on our part. The Jews brought Jesus to Pilate because they found him guilty, but they found him guilty of a very different accusation. They found him guilty of blasphemy. They said, Jesus says he's the Son of God. As such, he must die. But they said, we don't have the power to kill him. So we'll send him to Pilate, but we cannot accuse him of blasphemy before Pilate. Caesar, after all, makes the very same claim. And Pilate definitely knows that. So when they take him to Pilate, they accuse him of something very different. They say Jesus pretends to be king. He calls himself the King of the Jews. What Pilate finds is that while Jesus, even in Pilate's presence, has said, "I am the King of the Jews," Pilate essentially says he's a crazy man. I find that he has done nothing to initiate a revolution. He is not amassing troops to fight against Rome, or else he would certainly be crucified. Instead, he makes a wild claim that he indeed is king. Now, tomorrow and the next day we'll come back and we'll look more at Jesus' claims. But for today, it's enough to know that Pilate examined him and said he is innocent of trying to lead a revolt against Caesar. Then Pilate says, "To appease you, I'll have him flogged." Now, in John chapter 19, we get a little bit more detail on what took place at that point. John chapter 19, verse 1, Pilate had Jesus flogged with a lead tipped whip. The soldiers wove a crown of thorns, and they put it on his head. They put a purple robe on him. Hail, King of the Jews. They mocked and they slapped him across the face. This is what they were doing. Now, apparently, what Pilate was trying to do was appease the Jews. Let's punish him. Let's leave him tortured, whipped, beaten, bleeding, and show him to the Jews. Maybe that will satisfy their bloodlust. Tomorrow, we'll pick it up again, looking at the exchange between Jesus and Pilate. For today, it's enough for us to ask the question, how do you view Jesus? Pilate viewed him as a crazy man, a fool with a plastic crown. The Jews viewed him as a blasphemer, someone who said and believed that he was divine. How do you view Jesus? Both Pilate and the Jewish leaders of their day believed certain things about Jesus and wanted nothing to do with him. I believe the same thing that the Jewish leaders believed about Jesus. He presented himself as God. He believed he was divine. But while they denied that he was divine, that's become the center point of my life. Make it your center point too. How do you view Jesus today? I encourage you to like, follow, and subscribe on whatever platform you use to listen to this devotion. If you have questions, send them to us at questions@becomehope.com. Tomorrow, we'll look at the nature of true authority as Jesus stands before us.